This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Now then, let's talk pedals, specifically Overdrive pedals, or even more specifically, the Tube Screamer by Ibanez, obviously. Back in the long ago days of the 1990s when I was regularly gigging, I would often use a Tube Screamer. I think it was the TS5 one. It was the sort of one that was in a black plastic kind of housing. I would regularly use one of those into the front end of whatever amp I was using at the time, usually something with the word Marshall on the front, and always got really good results with it. It always gave me that kind of big gainy lead sound that I was after for, the solo on Chesney Hawkes as I Am the One and Only, or whatever we were covering in the band at the time. Anyway, I was gripped by a bit of a nostalgic feeling the other day, and I thought I'd drop 20 quid on this. This is a Behringer Vintage Tube Overdrive TO800. So I think we can, safely bet that they're trying to go for that Tube Screamer kind of market with that one. As I said, it's 20 quid on $19.99 or what it is. Got it on Amazon. And I was just curious to see if this cheap little 20 quid pedal matches up with my memory of what using a Tube Screamer was like back in the 90s. Here's a little bit of info on how I use a pedal like this and what kind of results it gives. Okay, then let's just have a quick look at the signal path here. This is my Scott Guitars signature model guitar, and that's going into the Behringer Vintage Tube Overdrive, and that is going via my interface directly into Reaper, where I've got this bias amp 2 setting dialed in. It's essentially a Marshall Plexi. Sounds like this. So that's a pretty good, kind of classic rock, AC/DC, Bad Company, perhaps, overdriven sound. Good for playing kind of chunky power chord stuff, or maybe a little bit of bluesy lead. It's not what you call a high gain sound, but it's got a little bit of grunt going on. This is what this kind of pedal is traditionally used for. It's to take an amp that's dialed in like that and just push it over the top. So here's the settings I've got on the pedal. You can see drive is at about 2 o'clock, so is level, and tone is at about maybe 11 o'clock. And what that does to that core amp tone is this. Again with the pedal off. And the pedal on. It just tightens everything up, gives you a bit more gain, just adds intensity, really. It's a great pedal for doing that. It just pushes an already slightly overdriven amp just over the edge for a bit of lead shenanigans. Go to the neck pickup and you can get that classic. Roll off the tone control for a bit of woman tone, So it does the job. People always inevitably ask, but what about your clean sound? Well, this is where the beauty of this kind of setup comes in, because if you have... Let's get the tone control back up again. that kind of tone dialed in on the amp, the pedal isn't on anymore, just roll back your guitar's volume control and suddenly you've got, you know, a sound that is usable as a clean sound. You can do all your cowboy chords. Maybe go into a single coil setting and, you know, strut your funky stuff. So, you know, you've got your clean sound there. You've got your kind of chunky power chord sound. And you've got your big kind of gainy lead sound. Like that. It's everything you need, really. So there you go. That is the Behringer Vintage Tube Overdrive. Make of it what you will. So there you have it. It kind of does the job, doesn't it? I mean, I don't have a tube screamer here to do a direct comparison with, but my memory of how it responds and behaves is still, you know, kind of, maybe it's a little bit rose-tinted spectacles, I don't know. But this certainly, you know, puts me in the mind of how I used to use the tube screamer, and you know, gets me a similar kind of result from it. You know, that way you can basically have a single channel amp, or if your clean channel on your amp isn't really that inspiring. That was certainly the case when I was using a Marshall Valve State 8080. Overdrive channel was absolutely tip-top, and you could dial it back with your volume control, etc. So that was quite often what I would do, you know, the tube screamer and maybe a chorus pedal in the effects loop or something like that, and just the spring reverb on the amp, and that was my rig, and it covered, you know, all kinds of different styles. So effectively I was using the amp as a single channel amp and just kind of dialing it back with the guitar's volume. And the tube screamer that I had at the time, the TS5, was the thing that would, you know, kind of tip it over the edge for the big soloing moments. And as I say, very impressed with this little Behringer unit. You can pick them up on Amazon for about 20 quid. It's made of plastic. So it's not going to be as robust as, you know, a Boss or an original, you know, kind of TS9 or TS8 or something like that, or even one of the reissues. But you know what? I mean, I'm a big lad. I'm 5'19" and about 18 stone. So, you know, if I can't break one of these by stomping on it, then, you know, which I haven't done so far, then it bodes well, really, doesn't it? It does feel, you know, kind of substantial. You know, all of the foot switch, you know, has a good positive action to it, and the controls feel, you know, not cheap. They don't have that cheap, scratchy feeling that you know, cheap pots often do. I mean, it's built down to a price, but it does the job, and I'm very happy with it. So there you go. The Behringer Vintage Tube Overdrive TO800. Cracking little pedal, highly recommended. And that is pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video, found it reasonably informative and entertaining. And if you have, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not give me a like while you're at it? Don't forget the live stream Friday, tomorrow, 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk music and guitars, and, well, what's not to like about that? It's a great way to kick off the weekend. I would love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.